With liberty and justice for all. Will everyone remain standing, please, for a moment of silence, please? I'd like to have a moment of silence for a gentleman who served this community very well for many years in our fire department, also worked in our village here and different things. His name is Kenny Carr. Just have a moment of silence for Kenny and his family. Thank you all. You may sit down now. I just want to instruct everyone, you might have
Tax help yourself.
paper in front of you, okay, in the middle of the public hearing that they meant here, okay? Well, on these two pieces of paper, it's called the PO 40 zone. The PO 40 zone consists of 6 pieces of property. One of them is the Suffern Library. One of them is across the street, the coal building. One of them is a road that, right away, that actually goes back to the quarry in the artist area. One is the monastery, the Cathy monastery, and one is a little sliver on the side over there also. So most of you that have these letters, or all of you that have these letters, are within 500 feet of the PO 40 zone. I've come to, after reviewing the different zoning things that are in the village, we realize that we want to keep rateable properties in the village. So what we did with the PO 40 zone is as you see all those red ones there, and you can see the different spots there, all those red spots there are those properties that I mentioned. So what we're doing, if you go to the sheet with all the wording here, you'll see on that sheet there, what we're taking out, I'll start with number 3. We're taking out dormitories, accessory to schools. Okay? Next, we're taking out private schools, colleges, and seminaries. Now, what's there is there. We're not taking what's there away, but it's still there. But I don't want more. We have a fair share of non-taxable properties. I'm trying to limit how many non-taxable properties we have. As we all know, our taxes went up 47% from 2015 to 2021. Last year you got a 0% increase. This year you're getting a 0% increase in solid budget. The state controller also approved the budget after many weeks of an audit being done here. So I'm trying to keep the rateables up by keeping our taxation coming in and not hurting us for thinking down the road, you might say. So that's what that's about. I'm going to go back now. We're going to open up the public hearing, and I'm really going to let the attorney do most of the talking from that point, all right? You're all welcome to comment, all right? Thank you. I have to wait for 7:15, unfortunately. The public hearing starts at 7:15.
The letter was one. That's fine. Is this the same thing they were talking about? No, this is the water.
Thank you.
Oh, I got that.
I'd like to do a roll call vote at this time. Trustee Alpert?
Present.
Deputy Mayor Corrigan?
Present.
Trustee Denis-Hogue?
Present.
Trustee Hagen?
Present.
And Mayor Curley is present. I went to this school here since 5th grade. If you want, I could sing the song for the 2 minutes we got to wait.
We are Washington.
Raiders, and we will always try to be the best of champions and to always stay on top.
Really,
We're the
Jeff?
Washington Avenue Raiders, and we cannot be stopped.
Thank you, Joseph.
So if you don't want to sing another song.
All right, let me do approval of the, I have a motion for the approval of minutes for April 3rd, 2023, please.
Yes, thank you. Trustee Corrigan.
Motion made by trustee Corrigan, second, please.
Second, trustee
Second made by trustee Albert, all in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion for approval of April 24th, 2023 Board of Trustee special meeting minutes?
Motion.
Motion made by Frank Hagen, second, please.
Trustee Corrigan.
Second made by trustee Corrigan. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Wait a few more seconds here, and we'll go ahead, folks.
I guess, Mayor, I guess you could mention also the regular meetings coming up, right?
I did already.
Oh, I didn't begin. I didn't know you did that.
Think we kept away.
Maybe.
All right, now it's 7:15. I would like to make a motion to open up a public hearing for the proposed local law regarding special permit land use in the PO 40 zoning district. Motion, please.
Trustee Corrigan?
Motion made by Trustee Corrigan. Second, please.
Second, Trustee
Second made by Trustee Albert. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, at this point, a couple of you walked in late, but Joe, did you have more copies to give to these folks that came in afterwards? Could someone get it for them? If you are here for the PO 40 zone, the PO 40 zone consists of certain properties, actually all aligned with 59, and some of them are not, and we want to make sure that the PO 40 zone, that we keep ratables and taxes coming in. So what we are doing here, just with the PO 40 zone, is we're taking out dormitories accessory to schools, so that won't be in that zone. And we're taking out private school, colleges, and seminaries, all right? And also we're taking out private clubs. So those are the things we are taking out, because those are the things that could end up not bringing us ratables and taxes in down the line. So this board is looking out for the future, so we keep taxable properties coming in. You know, and that's what this is about. So I'm going to ask now Mr. Rice to say a few comments, and if anyone has any comments, you're more than welcome to come on up to the mic here, folks.
Thank you. The important thing to remember here is there are no uses being added, no additional uses that are being permitted in the district. Instead, there are only uses that are being deleted, and those are the uses that would, in all likelihood, not generate any tax revenue. So we're in the process of doing a comprehensive plan. The planners are going to be looking in this general area more or less as a hospital office type of zone, and this is an interim measure here to ensure that the properties remain more or less in that context as they go forward with additional planning. This similar amendment was adopted some number of years ago in the PLI zoning district, again to make sure that there are only tax-generating properties and uses that are allowed in that zoning district. The planner was tasked to take a look at this. She recommended doing exactly what's being proposed here, and the basis for doing that was, as the mayor said, for the fiscal stability of the village, to maintain the tax base. And it's really a rather simple amendment. The way the zoning law is presently written, the notice has to go out far and wide, which I think probably is a mistake for something as minor as this. But I know a lot of people received notice and they were concerned because they didn't know exactly what this entailed. The mayor, I know, spoke to any number of people that made phone calls, and he explained to them exactly what it is. So just again, in closing, no new uses are being added, only non-tax producing entities are being deleted from the permissible special permit uses.
None of these actual properties that I think any of you live in, your houses, single family, are actually in this zone. You're just within 500 feet of the zone, so we gave you notice to let you know what's going on and what our plans and what the direction of this village is, not just for now, but for the future. That's kind of where it's at. So if anyone has any comments, you're more than welcome to come up. If not, we'll...
So I live on Riverside. My name is Helene Collins. I live on Riverside Drive. And number one, I appreciate the fact that we're looking out, and I know one of the questions that I have is just in regards to the seminary that is there at this point, and if that changes hands, does this now help to ensure that that doesn't become a school? That's my first question. And I guess my other comment is just, whatever comes in this area, if we could consider the amount of traffic that is now going to be on 59 with the new structure, that is the apartment complex that's there, up the road, I guess the senior housing that's going to be there as well. And I always worry about, what's going to be with the quarry. Getting out onto 59 at this point from Riverside is a task and has always been a task, but the amount of traffic that comes in, and I realize it's important to have, it's essential to have income and businesses that are bringing in taxes to the village. But it is, I just ask you to think about what goes in there and the number of cars and the amount of traffic. If you are hitting it on a Friday night, or, just both ways, heading down 59 towards Airmont Road, and then now with this phenomenal traffic light, the important traffic light that's here by the statue, but the line is, is backed up. So that's all I ask, and I thank you for letting us know about this and keeping us informed.
Thank you very much. I personally, this goes for all the properties that are there, number one, all the properties that are named equally. It has to do with the whole zone, and I have no knowledge of anything, of any other knowledge on any of the properties, except that I felt that we had a lot of area that is non-taxable, and I'm trying to limit non-taxable properties, so we have ratables to protect our tax base and not kill the taxpayers. Don't worry, Patsy, you'll get to go.
Oh, I'm sorry, Patsy. You want to go first? This will maintain the 40,000 square foot under the P40, right?
What is the question?
The 40,000 square foot.
The P40.
That's allowable.
Nothing has changed, none of the bulk
I
requirements.
just want to verify that it didn't change. That's all I'm asking.
No, nothing changed.
Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changing, no.
Okay. and-
Just the things I mentioned.
No, as I said before, nothing is being added, nothing is being changed other than the deletion of those three uses.
Okay, Terry, I'll direct this to you because Mike wasn't around when all this happened. Is it going to be triggered that light has to go in across from the medical office building that was agreed to in 2004?
I don't understand.
You wrote it.
I didn't hear the question well enough, I'm sorry.
Are we going to trigger that traffic signal?
Yes, and I know we've asked to have the minutes pulled on that to see what the ramifications are for that.
Well,
I don't know quite how the village would be able to require Montebello to do something, but yes, I've asked to have the minutes pulled to see if there's anything that makes sense on that.
Well, that was the agreement when they agreed to the office building.
I
that if
remember it, yeah.
You should, you wrote it. If they developed across the street,
Right.
it would trigger that light.
Yes.
All right, you are looking into that. Okay.
I think the windscreen just fell off that mic. I don't know if it's a big deal, but the foam windscreen, I think it fell.
It fell down?
Yeah. There was a windscreen on it a minute ago. Okay.
Bruce.
All right, never mind. No, never mind. I just wanted to mention. I saw it.
Patsy Wooters, 19 Mansfield Place, third grade Airmont.
Third grade Airmont, okay. You didn't sing the song, but Patsy.
No, I didn't go to Suffern Elementary. I went to Airmont.
Right.
Just a clarification, it appears that one of the parcels that you're including is the strip of the Salvation Army property. Is that, you didn't mention it, but that's what it looks like on the map. Yeah.
That's, yes.
And
I did.
I welcome this. I applaud the village board protecting the tax base. I think, as you know, I've spoken about this before. And the way I see it, it's preserving the commercial character of Route 59, which should be a commercial corridor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, if there's no other comments in reference to this, I would like to go ahead and have a motion to close the public hearing. Motion, please.
Trustee Corrigan?
Motion made by trustee Corrigan. Second, please.
Trustee Denis-Hogue.
Second made by trustee Denis-Hogue. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Okay. Go to our next item, folks. The attorney now will do different things here. We'll do some resolutions, adopting resolutions to pass this law now.
Great, thank you. This being a text amendment to the zoning law, it's subject to the State Environmental Quality Review Act. It was determined to be a type 1 action, which involves a little more procedure. The planning consultant prepared an environmental assessment form, parts 1, parts 2, and parts 3, which were provided to the members of the Board of Trustees. She also drew up a negative declaration, which is a determination that the proposal will not have a significant adverse impact on the environment, and I prepared a resolution that you also have adopting that negative declaration. So if you wish to proceed, it would be appropriate to adopt that resolution adopting a negative declaration.
Can I have a motion adopting the negative declaration, please?
Motion, trustee Alpert.
Motion made by trustee Alpert. Can I get a second, please?
Second, Trustee Corrigan?
Second made by trustee Corrigan. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, and then secondly would be a motion to adopt the local law, which does exactly what we've been talking about here. The amendment was subject to review by the Rockland County Department of Planning because it affects various physical attributes located within 500 feet of the properties. We are in agreement or have made modifications based on the County Department of Planning recommendations, so a simple 3-vote majority in any event is all that would be needed instead of a supermajority. The resolution goes through the fact that the notices were provided both by publication and mailing to other agencies and to the individuals within 500 feet of the properties, and ends with adoption of the local law amendment.
Can I have a motion adopting the resolution for local law number 5 of 2023 regarding special permit land use in the PO 40 zoning district? Motion, please.
Trustee Corrigan?
Motion made by trustee Corrigan. Second, please.
Trustee Denis-Hogue.
Second made by trustee Denis-Hogue. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Okay. Next thing is this sidewalk. I'll start and then you want to talk about it. Okay. We also have a resolution that would authorize the village clerk to issue administrative permits for a limited number of tables for full-service restaurants on the sidewalks under conditions specified in the resolution, as well as in addition something new that would allow a restaurant that has a parking area on its property or immediately adjacent to also have tables in the parking area. Again, there are limitations and restrictions and an application requirement, but it would enable the full-service restaurants in the village to use, again, the sidewalks or parking areas only during the summer months for outdoor dining.
Okay, I'd like to just talk about that for a second. Right now in our law, if you wanted to have outside, first of all, we want to promote outside dining. We think it's a good feel, a good look for the village of Suffern. We think it's important. This board does. So what we did was we're coming up with a resolution here where we can bypass the planning board and allow them to get a special permit from the clerk and the building inspector. They got to go fill out the application, and so they can put tables and chairs in their side lots or their fronts. We always had tables and chairs in our fronts, But actually, if you had them on your side, you had to go in front of the planning board. It's actually, it's expensive, it's a lot to do, and I think it's inhibitive to do it. You know, you say, do I really want to do this? So we're doing this so you can, follow the rules, you put in your application, you do your diagram, the building inspector will go and observe it, and you have to follow all the, all the other laws, whether it's health department or liquor authority or whatever it is. But it's so you can have your tables on your side, make it more, entertaining for people to come and see the village and then appreciate the village. So we're doing this to make it better for restaurants, to make it better for Suffern. That's the idea behind this. So you can put your table up, you can have your umbrella, and you can have your planters and hopefully a nice time. And that's what this is about. So I'd like to have a motion for the resolution authorizing the village clerk to issue administrative permits for outdoor dining or village sidewalks and on parking areas located on adjacent to a full-service restaurant in the village of Suffern. Motion, please.
Motion, Trustee Alpert.
Motion made by Trustee Alpert. Second, please.
Second, Trustee Corrigan.
Second made by Trustee Corrigan. All in favor?
Aye.
Question, Mayor?
Yes, sir.
What's a full-service restaurant? I'm just curious, does the public understand that?
Yeah, a full-service restaurant with someone that sells food, food, and you don't have to sell liquor. You can go in and you get a burger, or you can get a steak, or you can get a shrimp, right?
It's not fast food.
Not a fast food place, correct. Not a fast food restaurant, because they don't have seating to begin with, so.
And by having the clerk do it, this is better, having the village clerk issue the permit? That's better for the restaurant, for these businesses?
It's definitely better, and it's quicker. It's actually business-friendly is what we're doing. We're doing business-friendly. We want it to be quicker. Otherwise, they'd have to do a site plan, they'd have to probably get a lawyer, they'd have to get someone to do very expensive site plan, maybe a survey. So we're just trying to work with them. During COVID, a lot of things happened where in America, the Wild West happened. But maybe from the Wild West, we learned a few things, too, on how we can make things better for people. So we're doing this so people can do it quicker. They can come tomorrow, fill out their application, and by the next day, they can have their permit. Or maybe the same day, I got to get the building inspector out there. He'll take a look. But we're looking to make it business-friendly. And, we discussed this, and that's where we stand. And that helps them when they go to whoever else they have to get permits from, or not permits from. So, and that's the purpose of this, to make it better for business. So, is that all right? Now, so we took a vote already, right? So I'm going to abstain. I'm going to abstain.
Check with, I don't think you voted.
Okay, can I get a,
That's Stephen.
let me do it again. Can I get a motion authorizing the village clerk to issue administrative permits for outdoor dining on village sidewalks and/or parking areas located on or adjacent to a full-service restaurant in the village of Suffern?
Motion, Trustee Alpert.
Motion made by Trustee Alpert.
Second, Trustee Corrigan.
Second made by Trustee Corrigan. All in favor? Aye. I'm going to abstain from this vote. I'm going to abstain this vote because I do have room on the side where I can do this, so I think I'd rather stay away from this one, so I'll abstain. But I know that this other, I see a restaurant owner here, Danina, it'll help him along quick. He can come get his permit as soon as he, whatever rules are in there too. So, but based on that, motion passes. So that's another business-friendly thing in the village of Suffern.
One more from me, yeah.
Go ahead, Ben.
Okay. Last thing I have on the agenda is to set a public hearing for the June meeting on a local law with respect to waiver of parking requirements. There's kind of an inconsistency in the zoning law in that if a applicant wanting to locate concern, particularly in the central business district, can't meet the parking requirements, presently either the planning board could waive that requirement requirement or some portion of it, or the applicant could go to the Board of Trustees, where the Board of Trustees can impose a money in lieu of parking requirement. The philosophy behind that being that if there's an insufficiency of parking, and if concerns coming into the village pay the requisite amount of money, that at some point in time you have the ability to create additional parking opportunities. On the other hand, the planning board has the ability to waive the parking requirement. So the thought behind this local law was to put everything in front of the Board of Trustees, so the Board of Trustees can deal with what is a difficult problem in the downtown business district, which is parking, the sufficiency of parking, and new concerns coming in that may or may not be able to satisfy the parking requirements. What this resolution does is set the public hearing and refer the local law, as is required by the village zoning law and state statute, to the village planning board and to the Rockland County Department of Planning for their review and recommendation.
Could I please have any question on that, anybody? No?
The resolution?
That's
Next one.
Could I please have a motion setting a public hearing for June 5th, 2023 at 7 p.m. for proposed local law amending section 266-38 of the local law of the Village of Suffern with respect to special parking permits in the CB district. Motion, please?
Motion, Hagen.
Motion made by Frank Hagen. Trustee Hagen, second, please?
Second, Trustee Alpert.
Second made by Trustee Alpert. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, now, we have Fred Rella, for the grant program, please.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. The mayor asked me a couple days ago at this meeting if I would give an update on some of the paving projects and sidewalk projects that are going to be done this year, or that we have received grants for, or are going to be receiving monies. So first of all, I want to mention a program that's from the state called the Consolidated Local Street and Highway Improvement Program, otherwise known as CHIPS. We don't know what the exact amount of money we're going to be receiving from this, because the state budget, which was supposed to be approved on April 1, just got the okay a couple days ago, but we should know shortly. But the amount that we received last year should be similar to the amount that we will receive this year. And last year we received $144,000 plus dollars for that program. Also, they have a Pave New York program. It's the same situation. We'll know the dollar amount shortly, and we received $38,500 approximately for that. And then we also have one called Pave Our Potholes, otherwise known as the POP program, and we received $25,700 for that. So those are programs which we should know what the monies are going to be very shortly. We have the West Maple Avenue sidewalks and curbs and driveway apron project, which is going to be done this summer. We received $300,000 in grants. That's a much-needed project that needs to be done in the West Ward. We also have Parking Lot A, which is the parking lot where Lafayette Avenue meets Orange Avenue. It's a large parking lot across the street. We have a grant for $200,000 for that project. We put in for a grant for Ed Fagan Drive. That's the road down at the athletic field, which goes from Ramapo Avenue to the DPW. Okay, we put in for a grant for $140,000 for that. The actual deadline for that application was April 28th, which was Friday. We were the first municipality in Rockland County to submit our application. We actually submitted ours on March 29th, so we were well ahead. I've also been selected by Rockland County to be on the selection committee, review committee for those grant awards. We're also looking at federal grants which come out. There's federal money which is issued, which is different than state money or money from the county. And when those grants are floated, we are looking at those opportunities. Currently, there's one out called the SS4A, or the Safe Streets and Roads for All program. So we're looking at that. I've also been in contact with our local representatives at the state. That's Senator Bill Weber and also Assemblyman Carl Robanek. And they're well aware that, we're going to be looking for funding for roads and sidewalks. And once they get a handle on what's actually going to be allocated to their varying jurisdictions through that state budget, then we'll be working together to bring more money here to the village of Suffern.
Thank you, Fred. And also, as you mentioned CHIPS, I think you mentioned CHIPS.
Yes.
So we'll know more. The state, some of our money comes from the state budget, and we'll know more. They just passed it Saturday, so we don't have any notifications of that. The more we know, but we're working on more grants. We know roads are a fairly big problem. Right now, we have Orange and Loughlin working up by the Cypress Road and Beach Road up there, because they have to do gas main lines that they're working on. And then also they're going to start with, and we just got notification today that they're going to start on Park Place. So there are certain places that are real bad and need paving, but we can't do anything with them until, we can't go and pave something and then dig it up. It doesn't make any sense. So we were waiting for Orange and Loughlin to do their share. And then even on some roads in the town, Orange and Loughlin had put their certain mains in the middle of the ground, but some of them had sunk in, so they came up with this thing where they're doing these donuts. So sometimes you'll see a pothole, but it's not actually a pothole. It's part of Orange and Loughlin staying, but they're actually working on that in the village now also. But thank you, Fred. Keep up, like I said, my favorite movie is Jerry Maguire, Show Me the Money. So keep going, sir, all right?
Thanks, Fred.
Thanks. Mayor, I actually have a question about the roads. So let's say Orange and Loughlin is working on a particular road.
Right.
In most instances, they're going to patch it up, but they won't necessarily do a perfect job, So let's say the roads that they've just told you they're going to work on Cypress and Park, are they going to do like a schlock job and then we have to take that out? Or can we work it out?
They'll give us some money. It's called a cost sharing agreement. Well, they'll give us money for the part that they worked on. They won't do the whole road for us, but they will. There is a cost sharing. That's why some of it you have to wait on also. So we get a piece of the money from them.
So are they actually going to do that work this spring? Or
they're on it right now.
They're on it. So are those roads then part of the plans for this year? That we would do, I mean.
We're going to discuss them, but I would say most likely, yes. I would say that's a choice we'll work with. Charles Sawicki's a professional there. He has, things he's been reviewing and looking at, and between all of us, we'll make those choices. But we know that Cypress Road, where the kids are coming out, that's very important to all of us. We know that the Park Place is important, and then Washington Avenue, and I wish we had money to do every road, but
So they're doing Park
we don't,
Place.
but we're going to do as many as we can and move forward.
Park Place.
That needs to be done too.
Yeah, Park Ave does, but they're doing Park Place, which crosses Park Ave.
I see. Yep.
So it's why they're just not doing that whole section is beyond.
Okay, we have fire department, please. Jeremy, please. For those who don't know, Jeremy is our fire department chief in the village of Suffern. Very concerned guy, does a good job. I'm happy to know him.
Thank you. Good evening, board. Just one item for the agenda this evening, and that is accepting Christopher Dodrell as a member of the Volunteer Hose Company number 1.
I'd like a motion accepting new member Chris Dodrell for the Volunteer Hose Company, please. Motion, please.
Trustee Corrigan.
Motion made by trustee Corrigan. Second, please.
Second, trustee.
Second made by trustee Alpert. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, chief. Police Department, please. Chief Loughlin, please.
Good evening, Mayor and board members. In the month of April, the police department responded to 937 calls for service. I have 2 agenda items for the board's consideration tonight. My first item is a request made by Detective Sergeant Richard Marsh to purchase his department-issued .357 caliber Glock handgun. As the board is aware, we traded in our old .357 caliber handguns in order to purchase 9mm handguns. This decision was made after discussions based on the difficulty we had obtaining the .357 ammunition and also the much lower cost of 9mm ammunition. Detective Sergeant Marsh has requested to purchase the .357 caliber handgun that was assigned to him for its fair market value.
Very good, Chief. And you checked into that, the number he's given us is the fair market
That
value?
would be the value that we got for the trade-ins for the other guns, that would be the same.
Well, that would be 200 and something
$269.
$269, thank you.
Correct.
Then that's fine whether he gets it, that's a little momentum he gets to go with.
Yep.
And so can I please have a motion for a resolution declaring the Clerk handgun of Sergeant Richard March to sell it at market value of the same to him?
Trustee Corrigan.
Motion made by Trustee Corrigan, second please.
Trustee Hagen.
Second made by Trustee Hagen, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. My second agenda item is a request to accept the retirement of Detective Sergeant Richard Marsh. Detective Sergeant Marsh started his law enforcement career with the Village of Tuxedo Park Police and the Town of Tuxedo Police Departments before transferring to our department in June of 2004. Detective Sergeant Marsh served as a patrol officer until he was promoted to Patrol Sergeant in 2014 and finally Detective Sergeant in 2017, where he supervised the Detective Bureau and oversaw all of our criminal investigations. During his career with the Suffern Police Department, he served as a DARE officer, firearms instructor, and was assigned to the Rockland County REACT Team, which is the county SWAT team. He rose to the ranks of the REACT Team to his final position as the executive officer or second in command of this unit. All of us at the police department, the men and women that work there, would like to congratulate Detective Sergeant Marsh and wish him luck and good health in his retirement.
Thank you. Can I please have a motion to accept retirement Detective Sergeant Marsh, please? Motion, please.
Regretfully, Corrigan.
Motion made by Deputy Mayor Corrigan. Second, please.
Second, Trustee Alpert.
Second made by Trustee Alpert. All in favor? Aye.
That's all I have,
Motion
unless there's
passes.
any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Culture and Recreation, please.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Village Board. The first item that I have tonight, it's not with Recreation, but this weekend, it's on Sunday, May 7th, is the Suffern Street Fair at 10 o'clock till 5 o'clock on Lafayette Avenue. Coming up this month, we have Clifford Theater. We'll be doing auditions on May 17th and May 18th. May 29th, which is Memorial Day, there will be a ceremony, a parade, and a barbecue. Mondays in June, I know we're jumping ahead, but as we've seen that today is May 1st, the summer is coming. Mondays in June, we're going to have yoga in the park. So on June 5th, the 12th, and the 26th at 6:30. There will not be one on June 19th as Village Hall is closed for Juneteenth. June 10th will be the fishing derby at Foxwood Pond, and registration begins at 9:30 at the pond. 10 o'clock is fishing, and there will be a barbecue at 11 o'clock. Pool registration, believe it or not, is, we're getting ready for that. We have registration dates, which we will be putting in the calendar. The first one will be June 14th, and we're getting that ready for the pool. And June 24th, our pool is opening. It will open at 11 o'clock on June 24th. And we will be inviting the board for the orientation to meet the guards that morning at 10 a.m. And then the discussion items that I have on the bottom, the pool staff, I sent the list out of potential staffing, and if we can look to go ahead with that, we can reach out to the guards and start the scheduling for the 2023 season.
No, we can go ahead. Can I do a motion on that for the pool staff? I'll make a motion to hire the pool staff as you've discussed. Can I get a motion, please, to hire the pool staff, please?
Motion, Hagen.
Motion made by Trustee Hagen, seconded by Trustee Alpert. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. And then the other discussion is the 2023 Clifford Theater Assistant and Director contracts, so we can go ahead and start the auditions and the performances and the rehearsals for Clifford Theater.
Those are the same contracts, actually with the same amounts. And
Exactly.
We actually, I talked to the director, and this year what we're going to attempt to do is maybe have them walk through the town singing songs after they get them ready. Just something different, a little, you know, no hula hooping, just singing songs as they walk, all right? But But that's what we're gonna add to it. So I'll just make a motion to approve the Clifford Dia Director and Assistant Director contracts, please. Motion, please.
Trustee Corrigan?
Motion made by Trustee Corrigan, second, please.
Trustee Denis-Hogue.
Second is made by Trustee Denis-Hogue. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you very much. And we do have hula hoops in case you wanted them to do the hula hoops in the town too. We've got them.
Hula hoops? Okay, right, okay.
Thank you very much.
Very good, thank you. Okay. At this time, I'm gonna make we're gonna be doing public comment. You get up to 4 minutes to speak. I'm gonna let everyone come and ask their questions first, and after we close the public hearing, we'll answer the questions. If I need other people to help us, any department heads or anything, then we'll do that. So, I'd like to have a motion, open up the public comment period, please. Motion, please.
Trustee Corrigan?
Motion made by Trustee Corrigan. Second, please.
Second, Trustee Alpert.
Second made by Trustee Alpert. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Okay, if anyone has anything to say, any comment on anything, you're more than welcome to come up to the microphone. Come on up. Did you want to come up? Yeah, I thought you raised your hand. Oh, okay. All right, okay. Come on up, please. I just want to put on the record here a little bit that Patsy was at a planning board meeting the other night, and she's actually looking out for the environment. In one of the plans for that, she actually had, holding them to task to make sure if they take out any trees when they do Novartis, that they plant the same and actually more than they planted. And I appreciate it. I think sometimes people don't realize there's unsung heroes out there doing things that we all don't see every day. But I personally thank you and this board thanks you. Patsy.
Patsy Wooters, 19 Mansfield Place, and I'd like to thank the mayor for his column on Facebook. That's how I learned about the DEIS public hearing, which I went to, and also saw about the work that is being done with PFASs, and I'm glad to hear that as well. I do filter my water, though, just... but I want to say something about the public hearing. I may have misheard, but it sounded like the planner that was representing the village had not yet reviewed the plan, and I didn't see any engineer present who was representing the interests of the village. Now, I was very impressed with Brookfield. It is a $50-60 billion company, so obviously they can tap dance around us and, this David and Goliath. I get that, but I think that it would be wise for the village to take money out of the application money that they've put in and hire an engineer to just, to take a look at it and see if there's anything that needs to be done. And also, get the planners moving, because for them to not have reviewed it by the time that the DEIS was at a public hearing, I've not experienced that before in all of my fussing around with development in the region. So, thank you.
I'll let other people comment. I'll answer it. We'll answer it later. Right.
On Riverside Drive.
Riverside Drive, right?
Riverside Drive, walk in the village, you'll see me every morning, Joe sees me, so there are just a couple of things.
Sure.
I guess I have this opportunity to just voice concerns just about the cleanliness of the village.
Right.
My neighbor and I walk our dogs every morning, and, we've spoken,
right.
Just as we see you there, in trying to keep Suffern sustainable. When we're talking about the restaurants here, I guess I had a question about when you said for outdoor dining for the summer, and I'm hoping that we can extend that. I don't know what the time period is for the restaurants here to be able to have that outdoor dining.
Till like the end of October.
Yeah, I think that it was, and as we have weather that maybe isn't, conducive to it, but when we're talking about the spring as well, I know we've gone to St. Patrick's Day things that are outside as well, and so when, the longer we can maintain that season, I think is the best for the village, to see people out, to see people dining, to see people not grabbing a fast something, to see people going out and enjoying what's happening there. And then I think that the businesses also have a responsibility to keep the areas in front of their stores clean, you know, whether they're doing construction there, whether they're, you know, so if they're building and they have dumpsters and the things are outside, whether they have plants that are dead. We still if we don't demand that of our businesses, then, you know, it's the same if we don't ask it of our neighbors as well. When you live in a place, and I know that you've lived here your entire life, but for 30 years to see the changes that have taken place here, and to live it every morning as we walk, you know, we just have to demand that from our citizens here, and to come out and to clean and to take pride in it. So it just takes consistency with that, but thank you.
Thank you very much. Any more comments? You're too late, you're too late.
Anthony DeVanzo, Crestwood Drive. I've got 3 questions to the board regarding the homes that are being rented. Can this village register these rentals so we know what is and what isn't? If so, can code enforcement, fire department make sure these homes are safe before they're rented? And if that be the case, can it be an annual inspection of these homes that are being rented to make sure that they're not modified as what we've seen throughout this county over the years? And that's it, my friends. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, being there's no more public comment, I'd like to have a motion to close the public comment period, please.
Trustee Corrigan?
Motion made by Trustee Corrigan, second, please.
Second.
Second made by Trustee Hagen. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. I guess with the DEIS, in reference to that, the planner has engineers in her area. The planner has been on this for months. She has given him a lot of suggestions, not even suggestions, things you have to do. And they are, look for being professional, they are complying, okay? I wasn't at the meeting, so I don't know, but I think she approved them to go ahead with the public hearing for DEIS, but that day before, or that day of, Montebello put in a long list of things, and I don't think that was the one that they had just gotten and she hadn't reviewed. I wasn't there, but I'm still confident that's what happened there. So Montebello waited to the last minute to put something in, and that's how it, which they have a right to, that's fine. So they have concerns, and they have a right to voice their concerns. So that's what that's about there. We've gotten fees from Brookfield to pay for all these things. Now we even requested fees for different noise, for how the noise would be, an engineer on that. So they're not walking away lightly. Even on that demolition permit, when I took office, for years, a demolition cost $150 for any building. The second or third month in office with this board, I changed it to square footage. A few months ago, when they put in for the demolition permit, this village got $57,000 instead of $150, because I was looking out for the village and saying I'm tired of taxpayers paying for it. So there's other things, down the pike. When I came into office, I agree that we can do better with the downtown. We can do better with cleaning up and staying on people, and I promise you, I'm on it. That's why soon after I added garbage cans. Soon after I said, let's put the street sweeper doing it on Mondays and Fridays. So there is more to be done, and a lot more to be done. I like when I hear it from people, and I agree with you, and I will stay on top of it. As far as the rental registry, I'm actually working on the rental registry right now. There's never been, if we go and look on my desk, you'll see the folder there, okay? It's on my desk. I'm working with the attorneys, with the board members. We're starting to discuss it. The Village of Suffern had a rental registry for 2, 3, 4. They never had for singles, but COVID again changed things, and I have to assign it. I don't think the clerk's doing enough, so I'm going to add more work to the clerk's job, okay? And we're going to do single-family houses on the rental registry as well. As time change, we change, and that's what that's about. And the code enforcers, now the fire department, I will tell you, and the police department also, when they see something, they come back and tell us, and it does go to the code enforcers. I added in my budget another code enforcer. I interviewed a gentleman this week who's actually a local firefighter. So I'm hoping he put his application and we go to the county, and we need more boots on the ground to do that, and I recognize that, and that's why I did that. And this board is fully behind me on these things, and I thank them. We're working as a team. It's open government. We talk about things, and I like hearing from the public. Let's see. Can I have a motion? We close the public hearing. So Charles Sawicki, please. Charles Sawicki, for those who don't know, runs the Department of Public Works. So he's the guy who, makes sure the garbage is picked up. That's his department. He makes sure roads are done. He makes sure when there's, the county wants to put a weather tower on the building. So that's just so you know who he is, okay? Go ahead, Charles, please.
Good evening. Mayor, I have 9 items on the agenda. How would you want me to proceed?
Why don't you go ahead and tell us about them all, and then I'll do a consent agenda, okay?
Okay, all right,
Charles?
very good. Item A, requesting authorization for payment application number 19 for Meegan-Corrigan and Deutsch Consulting Engineers, PC, for the Gosher backup power for critical facilities in the amount of $430.26. Item B, requesting authorization for payment application number 19 for Meegan-Corrigan and Deutsch Consulting Engineers, PC, for the Gosher hardening of water treatment plant in the amount of $5,008.32. Item C, requesting authorization for payment application number 10 for Meal Electric Company for the Gosher hardening of water treatment plant project in the amount of $39,244.50. Item D, requesting authorization for payment application number 13 to TAM Enterprises, Inc. for the Gosher hardening of water treatment plant project in the amount of $71,938.75. Item E, requesting authorization to award the liquid sodium hydroxide solution bid to Westchler Pool and Supply Company, Monticello, New York, in the amount of $3.79 per gallon. Item F, requesting authorization to award the 25% sodium hydroxide bid to Brightag Northeast, Reading, Pennsylvania, in the amount of $1.7989 per gallon. Item G, requesting authorization to award the zinc orthophosphate bid to Shannon Chemical Corp., Exton, Pennsylvania, in the amount of $15.15 per gallon.
Charles, can you hold up on that one now?
Yeah.
I want to do a consent agenda. Can I get a motion for a consent agenda authorizing those payments and those bids for items 10A through 10G, please? Motion, please.
Trustee Corrigan.
Motion made by Trustee Corrigan. Second, please. Second made by trustee Denis-Hogue. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
I want to do the next one. Now we explain a little bit about the, Charles, on the H. Oh, okay. Okay, we have a resolution for solicitation of formal bids for the right-of-way improvement on West Maple Avenue projects. We have sidewalks going on West Maple Avenue there. It's part of a grant program that we have, but in the village, there's only certain areas that are considered of a certain income that we are allowed to give the projects to. And some of it consists over there, just like we talked about the road that Ed Fagan Drive they talked about before. That's the road that goes down the ball field, okay? There's very limited areas we can get this money from for these grants. So that's where, when you hear them, if you don't hear it over here, it's because they won't give it to those. They claim they make too much money, which I don't agree with, but that's what the census and everything else shows, and that's what we have to go by. So can I please have a motion for the resolution, solicitation of formal bids for the right-of-way improvement on West Maple Avenue project, please? Motion, please? Motion made by trustee Alpert, second made by trustee Hagen. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. And, go ahead, Charles.
The last item I, requesting a public hearing for Monday, June 5th, 2023, at 7:02 p.m. For the acceptance of the annual New York State DEC MS4 report.
Charles, I know you were chairman of that board at one point. Can you just explain to the public what the MS4 report is about?
Yeah, essentially it's the control of stormwater. And there's 6 elements of that is part of the permit. The permit's been in place for a number of years. The DEC has been for a few years now looking at changing the permit, making it a lot more stringent than it currently is. But what we do is, as part of that permit, there's many facets of the permit, but part of the permit, there are certain outfalls, the outfalls being where water would then essentially collect into a river or a stream or something. That's considered an outfall. We do a reconnaissance inspection of those outfalls. We're required to do 20% each year or more. We try to do a little bit more than that each year. So there's been many parts of but it's essentially geared towards the control of stormwater. So if you have a construction site, there's certain stormwater provisions that need to be in place. Larger projects, you have a SWIP, anything over an acre, and again, all controlling stormwater, so we don't have dirt or silt running in our roadways and our catch basins and our streams and our rivers.
Well, it's to protect our water, not our water, but our streams and all our water.
Right.
To make sure the oil doesn't go down in different things, so very good. So can I please have a resolution for motion setting the public hearing for Monday, June 5th, 2023 at 7:02 p.m. to oppose the acceptance of the annual New York State DEC MS4 report, please?
Trustee Corrigan?
Motion made by trustee Corrigan. Second, please.
Second, trustee Alpert.
Second made by trustee Alpert. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much, Charles.
Thank you.
Thanks, Charles.
Michael Genito, our treasurer, please.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. We have 2 items to present to you. One is kind of a ministerial act where the Governmental Accounting Standards Board that sets the accounting and financial reporting policies for state and local governments has issued 2 new standards that take effect this year. And we have financial policies that adopt the provisions of those standards and then become part of our comprehensive financial policies. So the first resolution is to adopt a financial policy to account for leases and also for what they call software-based information technology agreements. That's where we are renting software. So as opposed, on a subscription basis as opposed to buying it. So those are the two things to be set in that policy. We ask that the board adopt that resolution.
Okay, can I have a motion adopting the resolution of a lease slash SBITA financial policy, please? Motion, please.
Trustee Corrigan?
Motion made by trustee Corrigan. Second, please.
Trustee Denis-Hogue.
Second made by trustee Denis-Hogue. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
All right, the second resolution concerns the legal services that we use to negotiate our contracts with the three unions that we have. We have the PBA for the police, the CSEA for many of the other employees, and the Teamsters, which basically represents dispatchers and records clerks in the police department. Normally, the village has gone outside to legal counsel, which is generally very expensive to do, to negotiate these contracts. And we recently did a request for proposals back in October of 2022, where we received rates from legal firm partners ranging from $295 to $350 an hour, and the associates, the legal associates of those firms, ranging from $235 to $295 an hour. The village attorney, Terry Rice, has been very good about assisting the mayor in negotiating the contracts and discussing what would happen with these contracts. In fact, the PBA contract, I believe, was just settled. I believe we're waiting for a memorandum of agreement to be issued on that. But in any event, the village attorney has offered for a one-time stipend to settle all three contracts, negotiate and settle them for a sum total of $10,000. And I know that the board members have looked at this, the mayor's looked at it and found it to be reasonable and fair, and actually to be a bargain for the village.
I'll just point out that I don't even have a contract technically from the last contract. I only have a memorandum of agreement. So there's a lot of things you have to look to, hours worth of studying, reading, to protect the taxpayers of this village and to make sure everything's right. So we're cohesive with it and we're all on the same page. So we're kind of doing cleanup work besides doing what we're doing here. So if I could, I'd like to have a motion authorize stipend to village attorney for labor negotiations. Motion, please.
Trustee Corrigan?
Motion made by trustee Corrigan. Second, please.
Second, trustee Alpert.
Second made by trustee Alpert. All in favor?
Aye. Question, Mayor? Sure. Just one quick. What happened to Bickle? He used to, a guy named Bickle, he used to do the labor.
Bickle?
Bickle.
Yeah, we haven't used them.
When did you stop using him?
I've never used them. I've never used them once.
So Terry's going to negotiate, Terry's going to negotiate everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't used a gentleman once in 17 months.
And Mayor, I should have also added too that we had the funds budgeted in outside legal counsel, and this will allow us to transfer those funds to the village attorneys aligned for this.
All right, so I think I already took the vote. You got the second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Genito. At this time, if the trustees have anything they'd like to say?
Well, I do.
Oh, go ahead.
I noticed you look right over here.
I did look right over here. I heard your voice.
You heard my pen?
Yeah, I heard your pen, yeah.
You mentioned before that taxes went up 47% from 2015 to 2021.
Yes.
Well, there was good reason for that. They were fixing financial problems from 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's why it was done. I just want that on record. That's why it went up so much.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we're in better shape now, but we weren't then.
Okay. Well, in our last meeting, we came with a 0% tax increase. I guess what he's getting at, Mr. Hagen voted no to the 0% tax increase. He felt we should be taxing people. I don't agree with that. I think they've been overtaxed already, and I'd rather find ways to, with the demolition permit, I'd rather make them pay versus all the homeowners pay. So I have a different strategy. Also in that statement that you said that in 2008, 2009, we had 0% tax increases. That is 100% incorrect. There's never been a 0%. I only look back as far as 2021. There's no factual basis for that statement. I don't want the public to have misinformation. There was not a 0% tax increase from 2021 on. I didn't go any further than that because I went based on the statement. And I understand that you can have concerns. I understand anyone can have concerns, and I have no problem with listening to their concerns. But we have a solid budget, and I will also tell you that the state controller spent weeks in this building and reviewed this budget and said it was a good budget. And I don't know anyone in the state controller's office, and I also put immense faith in our treasurer, Michael Genito, who actually guided us through that, through those times. He actually guided us through those times, and it was his advice that got, is it fair to say it was his advice that got us through this, Frank, at the time? Sure. Okay, so, and his professional opinion, we can do a 0% tax increase, and the comptroller's office also said we can do a 0% tax increase with no harm to the taxpayers of this village. So, I thank everyone. Anyone have anything else to say?
God bless you.
Oh, I meant to say 2001. There was no 0% tax increase. I might have said by accident 2021. I meant there was the ones we did the last year and this year. There was not one in those years that were mentioned last week, and it was misinformation, and I just want to correct that. So I went back as far as 2001 and found out there never was a 0% tax increase in this village. And and I'll say this, I don't think Mr. Hagen has any bad intentions, right? I just don't.
Mr. Hagen was just worried that we go back in debt.
Well, I don't.
Mr. Hagen's worried.
Well, if you can show me one piece of proof how or why, I would love to hear it. If you could show, you can take the budget and point us out one fact, anything, but you provided us with zero. You never gave me one comment on how that be true or not true.
Well, I'm not
so just saying that, oh, I think that something isn't good, I need proof. I need something where you can illustrate it to me. Because if you would have said anything to me before this budget, I proposed the budget. I gave it to the village clerk. The village clerk then gave it to this board. Okay, you've had it for weeks. Okay? Not once did you make one single comment to me about the budget. Not once did you make one single comment to our treasurer. Not an email, not a whisper. You just voted no and said, I'm afraid of it. Well, if somebody told me they're afraid of something, I'm going to look into it. But I don't know what we're afraid of. And I feel very comfortable, we're very safe with a 0% tax increase. I think, as I said last month too, people need hope in this village. We need hope. We have to work together. We have to work together on making it cleaner. We have to work together on zoning. We have to work together on all these factors. And I'm happy that this board is doing that. As I said, I don't run this village. This board runs this village with our department heads. It's not one single person, it's people working together, and we're going to strive to do better for this village. We're going to strive every day. Thank you very much. Any other comments, or should I, we're good? Can I please have a motion to close the meeting, please? Hold on. For one second.
You got a resignation.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got one more issue, okay? We had someone that worked in the parking department, Christine Mealy, and she has resigned. She's going to retire, so I just want to, we actually replace it with a gentleman that has done so much good work for this village for years with actually Bruce Simon, who's sitting in the back, all right? Who runs not just Battery Saturday, he's done a lot, and he's doing a great job so far in that parking department. We actually now are doing the parking things in English and Spanish. So when you go for your parking thing, you can, we're trying to assimilate and help everyone out to make it fair for everyone to understand and work together. So please, can I just have a motion to accept the resignation of clerk part-time Christine Mealy, please?
Motion.
Motion made by trustee Hagen, second, please.
Trustee Corrigan.
Second made by trustee Corrigan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. I'll now make a motion to close the hearing, please.
Motion, trustee Alpert.
Motion made by trustee Alpert. Second, please.
Second.
Second made by trustee Hagen. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Have a nice day, folks.